Hello, so I am going to be working through the Manhattan Prep GMAT Advanced Quant book. I thought recording this would help people, perhaps, like follow my thought process and might help you out. And also, I can look back on it for myself. So, even though this says questions 1 through 5, this is actually question 1 through 5 of chapter 2. So, let's get started. Popular yoga studio that is always filled to capacity moves to a new location that is able to serve 45% more students. Unfortunately, 20% of the current students will no longer attend classes at the new location. If classes at the new location are also filled to capacity, what fraction of students at the new location will be new students? All right. So, when I see something like this where it says is looking for a particular subset of the answer, so new students, because you have new and old students, right? And the whole is always going to be the sum of those two. So it's likely that there's a trap answer. So let's see. They all have the same denominator, and we can see that 16 plus 13 is equal to 29. So one of these is the trap, and the other is the correct answer. So let's see. Since these are all, this is just a guess. It's most likely one of these two. It doesn't mean that it has to be. Like one of the answers could be A, B, or E, but it's more likely. If you had to guess and you're running out of time, I would guess one of these two. All right, so let's see. These are all percentages, and I think we could just use 100. So we have 100 students originally, and then we have 45% more students. So now we're at 145. So that's the new total. 20% of the current students, so 20% of this original 100 are no longer attending these classes, so we're left with 80 current, which means we have 65 new students. What fraction of the students at the new location will be new students? So 65 over 145. And we'll simplify by dividing by 5. And for me, what the easiest way to divide by 5 is I double the number and move over one decimal place. So this is 130, move over, so 13, 145, moved over is 29. All right, and there you go. So I don't know if this is correct. I'll have to check the answer, which I will do at the end of the video, but I'm going to go with D for this. Okay, let's see. What must be true? X is less than 10, y is less than 8, y is less than x. Let's see. So we have 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So we'll start with 2 because if it's not true, we can eliminate 3 of these, right? So x over y is greater than 1. Y is less than x, so the denominator is smaller than the numerator, which typically means that it is greater than 1. But nothing says that it has to be a positive number, so let's choose for our smaller number. Let's choose -2, and our greater number is 1. And this is -0.5, which is not greater than 1. So we can eliminate these 3. All right, and then we just have to solve for 3. We don't even have to look at 1. So x squared plus y squared. So basically, a non-negative plus a non-negative is greater than 1. Y is smaller than x, so let's use y as 0. So 0 squared. And x has to be greater than 0, so let's do 0.1. 0.1 squared is greater than 1? No. So it's not C. I'm going to go with A. Okay, next question. 60 over... Alright, so I'm sure there's an algebraic way to solve for this. It will probably be too complex, so I would just pick numbers for this. And let's just start with, I think usually what they say is you want to start with B or D because you can eliminate A if this is too small or something like that. We'll just have to see. So basically 60 over 6 plus, we don't even need to figure out because this is supposed to equal 7, right? So plus some number, some positive number is equal to 7. Well, this is 10, so it can't be A. There's no way. Now, I would do C, but I don't. All right, let's just try that. So let's do C. Cuz if C is not big enough and it's still over 7 in there, we can eliminate B without even spending time calculating. So 60 over 9 is equal to, what is this? At least 6, right? Or, yeah, 6, because that would be 54. So 6 point something, and 288 divided by 81 is at least 2, so that's 8 already. 6 point something plus 2 point something. Actually, 3 point something. 80, 160, 240. Yeah, so it's 3 point something. So that's 9 point something. So it can't be C or B. So we'll go with D next. And if it's not D, then it has to be E. We don't have to solve for that. So 60 over 12 plus 288 over 144. These are easy numbers. 60 over 12 is 5. 288 over 144 is 2 equals 7. So D. All right, which of the following could be the value of x? Absolute value. All right, so when you do absolute values, you just solve it once for how it is. So x squared minus 6 equals x, right, without the bars. And then you solve it the other way with the negative on the opposite side of the absolute value. So these are our two equations. And it's saying which could be the value, so it only has to fulfill one of these, I think. So let's start with, so the problem with A is it's negative, and absolute values are always positive, right? And it's asking for what x could be right here. So this has to be a positive number, so it can't be A. 0 squared minus a number can't be 0, so it can't be that. 1 squared, which is 1, minus 6 is not going to be 1. There's no way that's working. All right, so, I mean, just think about the answer choices before you start calculating, spending time calculating. So let's do, this one is possible, I think. 3 squared is 9, minus 6 equals 3 equals 3. All right, so that one works. 3 squared, 9 minus 6 equals, and then negative 3. So this one doesn't work, but it could still be the value of x, right? So I'm likely gonna go with D, but let's just check E, just in case I'm wrong about that. But 5 squared is 25 minus 6 is not gonna be 5. So not that one. 25 squared, or 5 squared is 25 minus 6 is not going to be negative 5 either. Definitely D. All right. If 157 or 154 is 37/50ths of x, approximately what's the value of 2x? All right. If this is part of 1x, right? So x is going to be bigger than 154. 2x is definitely going to be bigger than 308. Because that's twice as much. All right, I didn't even bother calculating. 416. There's none of these are even it can't be, right?